You know, I'm not snobby, but I don't make the rules, and I didn't really become a mom. I'm fixed. I got a typical surgery provided by Medicaid, because where the state I'm in, the state that I lived in the town, in the United States, you either had to have three kids, and then you could decide and volunteer to get a typical surgery, or you had to have no kids and be 29. The Medicaid would pay for it. Especially females, that's way more expensive because females have to cut open your guts. But I'm fixed. But I chose to do that because it's so I didn't. I knew I couldn't afford kids, and I didn't want to carry around kids like the sink in my backpack at the sink, and my kids, and try to be a bad mom because I have nightmares. I mean, I might have if I wouldn't have been schizophrenic, probably met the right dude and waited and only had like one or two kids like some people do and made the right decisions. Even if I would have had one, it just been one. You know what I'm saying? And tried to do the best thing and not lie to it and try to steer it down the best road. Even if things got screwed up, I would try to explain it, you know what I'm saying, the best way. But I chose not to have kids because I didn't want to be, because I've been always beat up my whole life. And plus, I knew I couldn't afford it, and I didn't want. I have a bad life. Why would I want my kid to have a fucked up life? But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't. I didn't want to like throw it on the concrete. I would never do that. Like throw a child on the concrete, like Courtney Love did. You know what I'm saying? Like knowing, like being a 30-year-old and sitting there injecting a heroin on MTV and knowing that my baby would be born purple, almost purple dead because of lack of oxygen, and then brag about it on MTV and tell 13-year-olds, I had no idea. I'll call, yeah, what was their names? They had two actors, so I don't have to go to jail, and Kurt will just go to drug rehab, and you guys can be cool like me. Yeah, yeah, fuck that. But yeah, I mean, maybe if I would have actually, met a really hot dude that swept me on my feet and said, let's have a baby, and then I would have been like, shit, well, the gas prices are fucked and our kids here, what should we do? Or even if I was divorced, I would have said, hey, kid, you know what I'm saying? It's really awful, but you're gonna have to get a janitor job or something. Go work at McDonald's, you know what I'm saying? Bend over and do the parking lot, clean up the garbage of the state highway. You know what I'm saying? Would have did something. You know what I'm saying? Instead of lying and say, oh, there's a dinosaur over there, and then like have somebody shoot him. You know what I'm saying? I mean, yeah, I don't know, but anyway, what was I gonna say? Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, I'm 50 years old. I'm pretty old. My life fucked up. I've always been nice. And there is people that tell me I've always helped people too. There's jobs that I've had, even though I didn't work all my life all the time. There's jobs, and I think of it all the time, where the owners or whatever, the franchise or whatever, had a crappy broom, and I'd go to the dollar store and buy one out of the goodness of my own heart at the dollar store so everybody'd have one. Or if I seen bums in the street freezing to death, I'd buy them a pizza like on a Christmas, give them $5, and that sure as hell ain't gonna save their life. You know what I'm saying? Or you know what I'm saying? I'd give a homeless bum advice on so their leg isn't falling off, or try to help, and do something. But then again, to tell everybody, oh, there's a fire and lie, and then everybody get messed up. I'm not like that neither, and I worry about that. But yeah, I mean, but I'm pretty old and I am kind of screwed up. But I mean, I'm thinking about making a free channel because, like, if you order somebody, like, if you're like a what do they call it, like a non-profit organization, and make people come to your church or whatever, or not church, but you know what I'm saying, like, or probation or jail or government, or you know what I'm saying, or a job, and force your beliefs on people. That's one thing. But like I said, and maybe I don't want to scare people because life is beautiful. And that shooting that happened yesterday, 20 people, that's awful. I mean, and that is awful. And I don't even want to talk about that because I felt like that at 18-year-old and I chose not to. No matter, I just bit down. Like my buddy said from Alabama, he was a drug, or not, he was a counselor, drug counselor, and I was like that because I was addicted to just marijuana. And I had to learn, it took me 5 years to bite down and just learn that wait to bite down until the addiction went away. But he said, you ought to become a drug counselor. And I said, I was going to, but I just get so good at it. But yeah, I mean, I would love to. And like I said, guns don't kill guns. Guns don't stand up and shoot bullets at another gun all by themselves. People use a gun. And as a young adult, maybe that sounds like fun or something that somebody makes a personal choice, but it's not cool at all. I mean, it'd be different if it was somebody that you were angry in a fight with, and you took it up between them and them. It was between you and them, and then it was your choice. But even then, if you don't know the full consequences of what happened, you know what I'm saying? Bon Jovi does not kill people. Tic Tac does not, internet, gossiping about radios or recipes or dances or whatever the movies or whatever they do for fun. That doesn't kill people. If we had jobs and had exercise, people would be working. And we don't have to work 40 hours a week and say that's law. And so your legs feel like they're going to fall off. I made a movie, the first a YouTube movie. I knew how to do YouTube, and I didn't do it for a long time because I knew I'd vent about my schizophrenia, go on about my schizophrenia. Nobody helped it back then. Doctors or lawyers, the doctors that aren't real doctors are just schizophrenic nuts on a couch, a therapist, not a real licensed doctor, even though they do get paid and did work hard. They're not curing nothing though, you know what I'm saying? But and then I did the first YouTube video I made years ago. I waited before I made it because I said you shouldn't have to have work 40 hours and say that's the only thing you can do until your feet fall off. There should be, I just suggested it. You could work like 15 hours like as a janitor on a weekend and then go home to your apartment or your husband or wife, or if you didn't want a boyfriend or girlfriend, didn't think that you wanted to reproduce or be with a man or woman, you could have a roommate, you know what I'm saying? But that's a whole different category. But, you could work 15 hours, 2 jobs on the weekends as a janitor in McDonald's. And then if you wanted to choose to be legally rich, you could work 22 hours part-time at McDonald's, you know what I'm saying? And then like maybe parts of, morning, second or third shift, and then maybe for 3 or 4 years in your life. And then if you wanted to take up another job, you could work as, like a doctor, in a college, because you have that career that you did, and you could work there for 15 hours. And then with multi-shifts, you wouldn't have to be 40 hours no matter what on one job, one shift, until your feet feel like they're going to go fall off to be baby boomer and then say you want to kill people because it hurts your feet. I don't know how to make the rules, but somebody needs to figure out these mental illness, schizophrenic rules, because 30 years of having no jobs, people going to get stirred up and bored and need some kind of exercise on our fat legs, whether or not we get to live or eat or whatever. And it don't take $120,000 worth of what they call it, macaroni and cheese and blue jeans from Walmart, whether they be Lee jeans or whatever, or macaroni and cheese to put a kid through high school, and your spouse owes you until the end of time. That's bullshit, but there's a lot of people in this world, and somebody that makes rules needs to figure it out morally and do the right thing morally, or involve us in their little pee-pee secrets, and then give us a date of when they're going to have a 1990 party like it's 1999 in the world, and what we need to do for their coupon bullshit. And that's all. I'm going to shut the fuck up, Rachel. But yeah. But anyway, that doctor, that intern at that hospital, they're not paid police drug informants. They don't know the spark plug from a drive uptown with a gun. But they're not police that, that do police train hard, work on the force, and, sometimes or eventually quit the job because they do that to prevent a traffic jam, or your mother, sister, your wife, your husband getting killed in a car accident because somebody's speeding. We do need police, and goddamn, they do. I've always known that. I just feel dorky being a brown noser, but I've known that from when I drove in my life. As soon as I got to be 16, realizing when you roll down the window, you could punch a cop in the face and how dangerous the job is. But I'm not going to ever become one, so why should I have to be a spokesperson for them for free? But of course, they work hard, but they also can quit and go work somewhere else. A bakery, a donut shop, a parking lot, a Walmart, or they can just sit at home and, have a roommate. They can do whatever they want in life. It's, you know what I'm saying? But, this mental illness war, there's that doctor on that mental illness, and the security camera at the hospital in the town I'm from, they said it's going to be felt worldwide. His wife told on him. He's about my age, the intern and the doctor, and he's passed around the security password. He's got 13,000 home movies full of men, women, and children in their private changing hours and stuff, watching them at home on his free time. And everybody else at the hospital and everybody in that town knows the password. And it's happening in a lot of other towns too. Like the mall, the gas stations. I don't know. I don't know, but I know I did got caught shoplifting as a juvenile, 12-year-old, and they were gonna put me in jail for like 2 years, and that was my first offense as a juvenile, and I haven't shoplifted since. And I don't shoplift, but there is people that do it. But the hair dyes have triggers on them through the doors, through most places. The CDs and music used to have, the clothes have tags in them. And I realized at 12 years old, you just don't shoplift. unless you know the consequences. And then when it's your second, third, or fourth offense, and you damn well deserve to sit in jail because you knew the whole time it was legal, then you get in trouble. I gotta go.